Good morning and welcome to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague live here from the DreamHack Monster Energy Studios. We're here with the last day of Super Weekend and we have 5 series to show you. Let's take a look at which teams we've got. Our first series is going to be Na'Vi versus Vega Squadron. A very important match for Vega Squadron, but maybe even more important for Vega Squadron is the match after this. Empire taking on Virtus.pro, our second series of the day. We'll be deciding if, or will partly be deciding if Vega is going to DreamHack Summer or not. For Vega to go to DreamHack Summer, Virtus.pro has to lose their series today. And it's not only against Empire that they would have to lose, but they would also have to lose their third series of the day, which is Virtus.pro taking on Burden United. Now, Burden United has 3 series to play today, 6 games in total, and also they still have to win the majority of their games in order to make it to DreamHack Summer. Better yet, they still have a chance of making it to the top 2 if they win every single one of their games. This 4th series, Burden United against Empire, and that might be the deciding match in terms of who is on top of the rankings. And that brings us to our 5th series, Na'Vi taking on Burden United. I'd say Na'Vi probably the safest one at the moment, together with Nip in terms of making it to DreamHack Summer. And of course, with me in the studio as well, a couch full of people, we have Andy, Owen and Shane. Good morning.
Good morning, Shiva. Today is a good day. Me and Ted actually got to cast one of the Burden games yesterday. Yeah. And they looked very, very strong. So I'm excited to see them play today. Should be good. Should be good indeed.
And we didn't have a lot of time off, so I would normally ask, like, what did you do yesterday?
Oh, well, I slept for 6 hours.
And then you woke up and are you here again?
Yeah. It actually wasn't that bad. I enjoyed yesterday, and I hope today will be as fun.
How are you doing, Owen, this morning?
I'm good, yeah. Running on a little bit of a lack of sleep, but...
Okay, that's your fault.
It is my fault.
Okay, so Owen gets this idea that he's like, all right, I'm just going to go to bed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch streams all night. But, you know, like, the walls in our house aren't exactly that thick. But you don't seem to realise this, Owen.
I've been very quiet. I don't think you can hear the Twitch streams.
I can.
And that's a lie.
No, that's not a lie.
No, it's not.
You don't have headphones or something.
That's a lie. Well, I do, but they're downstairs.
Yeah, they're downstairs.
Actually, they're not downstairs.
They're mid-stairs.
They're mid-stairs.
Yeah, they're on the table.
With my razor.
They're on the
It's
table.
still too far for me to go. Even though I do like go down to the toilet and I do walk past them. And, oh, there's my headphones.
Well, honestly, like
Take them up and use
carrying them
those.
is pretty hard. Like, they're pretty heavy headphones.
Yeah, but they're not comfy in bed. You don't want to wear headphones.
No, you don't. Because then you can't turn.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also, I mean, tonight's going to be the last night at this house, you know? You have to cherish the moment, so he just made sure that you would remember him.
Yes.
And you would appreciate it more
memories of me
if,
watching Twitch streams.
No, you'll appreciate the good nights more. You actually can sleep.
Can't wait.
How did you sleep, Andy? Did you still
I
get to
slept like
play
a
your 2
baby.
Dota games?
I'm sorry.
You said you would play like
Oh
about
god,
2
no! I
Dota
got way
games.
too tired when I got home. I was like really wide awake when I was at the studio, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I feel good. You know, I'm gonna play some Dota." And then I get in the car and just instantly, all my energy just evaporated, and I was done.
I saw your tweet this morning. I missed Dota too.
I wish I could actually play Dota, and then like the sad
When
little
was your
smelly.
last game?
Hmm?
When was your last game?
Oh god.
How many hours ago? How many minutes? How
It was
many
like
seconds?
3 days maybe. 3 days since I played.
Oh.
Maybe 4 days even.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay.
This
My
is-
hands like shaking.
This is
Withdrawals.
this is
not
heavy
good.
stuff right
It's
here.
tough times.
Yeah. I also had a good night. Didn't sleep that much due to various reasons, including above, which is actually above me in my house or the house.
I love how the pre-show has just kind of boiled down to how angry you are at each other because you all live in the same house now. It just goes from being like really good friends and talking about random stuff to, God, why do you do this to me in the house? Can you please be quiet when I'm trying to sleep?
It wasn't. It was even worse this morning. I cooked bacon, and I didn't put on the fan, and she wasn't happy.
The whole house was blue. Blue. Because of the smoke of the bacon. It's just...
Blue.
I don't know why it was blue. Shiva was like, "Why is there blue everywhere?" And me and Owen were just looking at each other like, "What the hell is this?"
Owen's
Thick
just
smoke
staring
looks
off.
blue.
Yeah. Just like I don't even know what's going on right now.
Thick smoke
Standard
blue.
Owen.
Blue grayish, but still blue.
It's literally grey.
I mean, if you lived in a house with Shane for more than like 8 hours, you know that there's 2 things. He smokes all the time. He cooks a ridiculous amount of either beef or bacon.
That's fine. As long as he turns the...
And he never turns the fan on when he does it.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
I like my clothes smelling like bacon. It's just a thing.
I mean, I guess it's not a terrible thing. Clothes that smells like
Of
bacon.
all things that smell like bacon's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can feel the resentment from here.
It's great. So we have 5 series today, but we also had a series yesterday. What was your favorite moment yesterday?
Well, I think I'd probably speak for everyone when Havos stole the Invis rune and basically won the game.
He didn't steal the Invis rune. He just picked it up. He's like, hey, an Invis
It was during
rune.
a really big fight. So FNG's just like, yeah, we didn't see it. There was like 2 sentries on either side of the river, and he just happened to be in between them, and it was really chaotic. So them not noticing kind of just won them the game. I mean, that fight actually did win them the game. Like, even though it was kind of messy and back and forth for a while, you can look back and just be like, this was the single most important part.
They had a they were at a massive disadvantage in the game, and all of a sudden, like, it was like a 5k swing in that one team fight in Russia.
Yeah, it was insane.
No other moments that stood out then?
They're kind of all overshadowed by that, though.
The thing is, when you cast for so long, like, you do so many series in one day, the games kind of just run together. And then when you see something, like in a recap, we're like, yeah, I remember that. But you don't actually think about it off the top of your head.
Let's actually bring up the recap then to see which other moments we had yesterday that were worth remembering.
He's thinking about popping the Chrono. Is he going to drop it straight onto Sing Sing? He's going to have to be careful because my nuts. Easy, he's going to go down. Nice Chrono onto 3. They've brought down 2. They'll almost certainly find Paris here as well. We'll see what he's able to do with it. No one zipping straight in, and now they're going to go on to G's being sucked up as well. He's able to get himself forced up to the high ground. The Glimmer Cape's there as well. Pops the Ghost Scepter, they'll be able to defuse it off, but still they just can't get in range. And Pasha taking so much damage here from the ledge rack. He's going to go down, and that's your Lifestealer down for 90 seconds. This is not a great position for Vega to be in. Max stuck in the tree line. He's going to fall here as well. He hasn't got buyback either. 2 heroes down. Illidan hitting away at the tier 3. Now, there's going to be an orb up to the high ground. Does he follow this one forward? Can he just drop the Dream Column when he rests only onto low on dance? Resolution pops the big leader to Fiend's Grip on Terror. This is big if they can kill Era. Jonas and Fanny's doing work though. He found the kill onto Disruptor. Era's getting low, but it doesn't matter. Resolution's getting lower. They've killed him. There's no way they're killing Era. Era just turns his attentions towards the Bane. A few hits will make him go very low, and Silent goes down. Yoku's trying to run away here. They did lose. GG.
Nico can't fight here. He's going to get kited to hell and back. And look, Necroman can stand outside the cogs. Paris pops the Ghost Scepter. So Urza is just stuck. He can't do it. But Wish Doctor ulti going crazy. Look at that. It's like something out of Tron. Just laser beams everywhere. Absolutely ridiculous. Sing Sing turns around. Nico in trouble. Nice hook. He's trying to punch his way out. He can't turn it by. He goes down for 98. Doesn't have buyback. Witch Doctor buys back to try and save these buildings. As stoned as he can. Look how much damage Sing Sing does to the structures. that Rax is down.
He's going to have to upgrade the boost.
He can TP on the clockwork and he just buys back.
Yeah, they're going to look for the hookshot TP and they're going to go straight into the pit here. FNG getting forced up to the high ground. Phobos does get the Supernova off, and there's no one hitting the Supernova. It's going to be a successful Supernova. Death Ward as well. There's going to be defensive disruption. It's going to hold up both Willem and Lab to avoid the stuff from the Supernova. Now he's trying to get himself out with the Glimmer Cape, trying to bring down Lil. They'll find the kill onto Lil. Artstyle on a killing spree now. Deadly getting low here to the right clicks of Illidan. Illidan just standing there shooting away at the wall. Artstyle getting closer personally with the drown range. Illidan continues to try and fight up. So Neko and Force, they're turning attention to him as well. So Neko will defensively disrupt himself. Artstyle and Force going in on Illidan. They do bring him down. It's a double kill here.
A lot of memorable moments indeed. And with yesterday's 10 games out of the way, we can take a look at what that did to the standings, as this is the last day already of league play. And we will find out today which 6 teams are going to DreamHack Summer, which 2 teams will get an easier time there, and which other 2 teams are not going to be in Season 3 of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague anymore. And we already know that Basically Unknown is going to be one of those bottom 2 teams, the other team yet to be decided.
So if Burden win 2 games, they're through. And Vega is last place, or 7th.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for Vega. At one point, they were 5-3.
Yeah.
And that they had still 6 games left to play. Then they lose 5 out of the next 6 games.
Yeah.
Like, that is so painful, because I was really looking forward to seeing them more.
Especially when they looked so strong in some of the games as well.
Yeah.
Like, they looked very strong. And, like, the Mag on his offline Beastmaster, they played so well. No name, I don't know. I just thought they would have done better. And the standings don't seem to fit how I thought about them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, right now, they are bottom, or rather number 7. They still have a chance to make it to DreamHack Summer, but for that to happen, like you said, Burden has to...
Only win 1 game.
Yeah, out of their 6 games. So that is a lot of games still. They also have to have Virtus Pro win, or rather Virtus.pro has to lose against Empire. Virtus.pro has 4 games today as well. And I can't remember the result between Virtus.pro and Vega.
VP versus Vega. Didn't it go 1-1?
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would mean that the team that has the most 2-0 victories then wins, but I don't know that by heart either. So we have to find out if that is indeed the case. I mean, Virtus.pro has to play against Empire today, which they haven't done since March, by the way. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. And Virtus.pro also has to lose against Burning United.
I think the tale for today is Burden United against the big dogs, though. Like they had against
Empire.
the Empire. They have
It's
like
the true test.
exactly, yeah. It's like the last showdown. They need to win 2 out of 6, though. It's definitely doable.
Good odds, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Definitely. Now they go up against the 3 teams that are indeed pretty strong: Na'Vi, Empire, as well as Virtus.pro. And for Na'Vi, I would actually at first, or if you asked me yesterday before the day started, I would say that Na'Vi was probably one of the weaker teams there, and the ones that they have to face. But Na'Vi looked so strong yesterday that I actually think that
I don't know if it was
gonna be
Na'Vi
uphill
looking
battle.
strong as much as it was Havos playing really well one game.
Okay.
And then in the next game, they still lost, right? So they went 1-1 in that series. But I also would say that Na'Vi actually are one of the only teams who function better in chaos. Like, for whatever reason, whenever games are like totally clowny and just tons of team fights everywhere, usually Na'Vi are the ones who come out ahead.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something that's good for them. But I think in this patch, it's very hard to kind of force that chaotic environment where a lot of these teams are just picking either death ball or they're picking early lane wins. And neither of those strategies you can really cause a lot of havoc against. So I think that's kind of where they're struggling. But I don't know. I was surprised by the fact that they were able to take that game. But I still feel like out of those other teams, like VP and Empire, they're still the weakest.
Okay. Even though they went 1-1 with Virtus.pro that day.
Even with that.
Virtus.pro themselves, I mean, yesterday they had 2 series. They played 1-1 in both. They weren't looking like we were used to seeing them play either. They weren't looking as strong.
Yeah, well, FNG did the winners interview, and he was like, I don't really know. Like, one game he picked Viper on Dying Lane.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, I don't know why I picked Viper second. We just kind of did it, and it was too early to play Dota or something like that. So maybe he'll be coming into today with a better mindset on his draft. And I think once they get the heroes that they actually are good with, they're much stronger of a team.
This is true. I think so too. And I think so for Na'Vi, as long as they can have a team, can be going up against a team that they can bait out that aggressive playstyle, bait out those chaos fights that you mentioned, then they're in a good shot. And for teams such as Virtus.pro, might be easier to bait out than, for example, a Burning United.
Even in the game, the last game Na'Vi played, like honestly, I think the game favored them. Like it happened. Like it's almost like, okay, we're playing good, but we're not winning. And then the game was like, oh, here, have a hand. You know what I mean? Like have this Invis rune, have a Roshan. Like if the Drow had got the Aegis, all of a sudden they would have like pushed high ground. Like the game could have been totally different if it wasn't for that one thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Like one tiny rune just changing the entire game.
It's very seldom that happens, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've not really seen a game where I've seen a single rune have that much impact ever. Like, ever. I cannot honestly think of a game in, like, the 4 or 5 years that I've seen a rune do that much.
Maybe an S4 rune, haste rune.
No, but sure, he might have got a kill or escape, but, like, he never won the game off that one rune. So.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it didn't really... It won them the game, yes, but at the same time, they still had to play properly afterwards as well, and they made sure that the game with that fight was broken completely open. They were behind before, and that rune actually made them get fully back into the game and actually come out ahead. So they won the game with help of the rune.
Yeah, exactly. That's
but it
what
wasn't
I mean.
just a rune.
I'm not saying it was just a rune in any way. I'm saying like they played. That's what I said. They played well before it. It's just they were just unfortunate, and that got them back into the game completely.
Okay, so yesterday we saw a bit of different heroes as well. We had a Jakiro, safe lane, DK Phobos, pretty fun to watch. We had Crystal Maiden played by FNG as well, and as well later on as well, I think we had 2 Crystal Maidens played. Total.
It was the same series, right?
No, Burning United had a Crystal Maiden as well. Because I remember asking come with me about that.
He got a 25-minute Midas, but it was against like Ursa, so then he just got like 4 staff and Ghost Scepter and stuff and played around the bear.
Yeah.
It was very well.
So the question is, are we going to see them today again?
What I want to see is
CM and Jakiro.
Yeah.
I think the game where FNG picked Jakiro was more like he said he needed a hero that could push, but it was also great because nothing on the enemy team actually built BKB.
Yeah.
So like he was able to go Atos and Yules, which is a ton of teamfight control. And there were a couple of teamfights where honestly, I think that they didn't even understand what Macropire did. Like they were just standing in it, like just yo, what
nice
up?
and warm, nice and cold.
I mean, I get it. I enjoy a good sauna from time to time, but not in that scenario.
Fair enough. But are we going to see it again, you think? Or was it actually situational in this case?
It's possible. I think it's one of those heroes that makes any lineup into a pushing lineup. So if you have a really good like lane dominating team early on and you can fit a Jakiro into that somehow, I don't think it necessarily has to be in a core capacity.
Yeah,
but
we've
it
seen
can
it as
be,
support.
because it matches up well against a lot of the solo offlaners that you see nowadays. So I think it can actually fit a lot of drafts.
And when he drafted it as well, it was against like a solo offlane Sand King, which wouldn't exactly be the strongest laner in the world against a ranged hero.
Yeah.
So like he got so much farm early game, dominated. What I want to see is Winter Wyvern and Phoenix. I thought that was actually a really cool combination. Like they used the Winter Wyvern ulti and then the Phoenix egg on top of it. And what can you do in the team fight? Like
Yeah, like almost guarantees a stun if you hit a lot of people. So yeah, it's pretty legit.
So we have 5 series today. I'm going to ask you for predictions before we let you go off the couch.
to cast.
All right.
Well, they're
I'm
not
ready.
casting the first series,
Like
but they're
stretching.
still gonna go off the couch.
All right, so you got to go through the series because I'm like a dolphin. I don't remember anything.
Yes.
Wait, don't dolphins have good memory? I'm pretty sure.
Goldfish.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip the upcoming series though. We're gonna go to Empire versus Pro.
Ooh, I think that'll actually be 1-1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Birdie United versus Pro. I'm gonna go over Owens soon.
I'm going to say 2-0 VP.
Birdie United Empire. Birdie United Empire.
2-0 Empire.
Birdie United Navi.
I think that'll be 1-1.
And with that scenario in mind, you just made Vega really happy.
Yeah, but I honestly think that if it's crunch time, it depends on how much the teams care about the games. Because from the perspective of VP and Empire, they're pretty much through no matter what happens, right? So if they're like kind of just trying out stuff, then I think there's always a scenario where Burden can come through because they might not be like trying as hard as Burden are to just make in the top 6. But if team comes in, they're like, we'll just consider this a scrim. You know, and that's totally reasonable logic for a lot of these teams because they play so many damn games that they don't actually have a lot of time to scrim. So maybe they try something new, maybe it doesn't work. So, I mean, either series could actually go 1-1, but I seriously doubt Burden will 2-0 anyone.
Okay.
That's my honest opinion.
You could also say that if they're scrimming though, like it's not in the public and other teams can't see. You know, you're only playing against your opposition, and they're the only ones that see your draft and your team. So, in a competition like this where everyone's watching, maybe using some like hidden strategies or try stuff out.
It doesn't have to be hidden per se. You can just be testing out a hero to see if it works. You know, like yesterday, FNG's like, yeah, I just picked Jakiro. I thought it was good. And it worked. And I mean, people know that Jakiro is a good hero. It doesn't have to be something that is pocket strat. It just has to be something like, oh, maybe we wouldn't have done this if we actually had some weight on this game.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's just
Takes
small
away
stuff.
the pressure. Like.
Yeah. For Empire, by the way, they are on their way to boot camp.
Yep.
And that's actually today. So they'll be traveling today as well. So that might somehow impact their gameplay. Might be making them more rushed. Might be making them extra chill because, you know, they haven't seen each other for a little while, perhaps, and they like to celebrate, perhaps. I don't know. Owen, what do you think? Virtus Pro Empire.
I think that one's going to be, I'd say, off what we've seen recently from the sides, I think VP could take that one 2-0. I think they've done some pretty impressive stuff. Obviously, they did drop a game against Na'Vi, but even so, obviously, it's debatable on how much that Rune had to play, and the fact that other than that, you know, they were playing pretty well in that game, and they had a very good grasp of the laning stage, and it could certainly have still gone their way. So I think VP could take that one 2-0. The next series, which is
Birdie United versus Pro.
Birdie United versus Pro. I think, I mean, if I'm predicting VP taking 2-0 against Empire, I guess I've got to say 2-0 against Burden. So 2-0 again there for VP.
Okay, you just made Vega very sad.
Yes, I mean,
There's still a chance you're going to make them happy. Empire Birdie United.
I feel bad at saying 2-0 Burden, because then I'm kind of saying Empire can have an awful day.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with that. I feel like Empire are going to have a really bad day today, and somehow they're going to drop games against Burden United as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 2-0 Burden.
Burden United, Na'Vi.
I'm having to kind of think in relation to the other two, you know, because it's kind of, I'm creating a ranking of how I kind of see all the teams.
It's like, these guys beat these and they played well here. It's
but
tough.
They'll probably be all horribly wrong, my predictions. So it doesn't really matter. We'll say for that one, we'll go 1-1. I think we'll see an even matchup between Na'Vi and Burden.
Okay.
Don't Burden have to win 2 games?
Yes.
They do.
So again, not very friendly towards Vega.
But they won 3 in your prediction, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And they won 1 in mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
That
they
is
win
it.
one, they'll be even, won't they? Bottom with
Yeah, they'll be-
who's Vega. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
the
be
two of
even
them
with
will be the
Vega.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that, they're not gonna cast the first series, but we're still gonna make space for our guests. So you know, go chill somewhere.
Space created.
Ooh, there's a Smash backstage I've seen.
It's in like the corner.
Okay, that's not great.
Scrift's
Yeah.
guarding it as well, probably.
There's mini fruit upstairs.
Yeah, look at how small that apple is.
Smallest apple, smallest pear, and the nectarine that's also kind of small, but you can't see it properly, because it's so small. Oh, there they are.
Wow. Fruit.
But it's super small. Like, wait, pen for scale.
Well done.
Well done.
That's actually pretty good, yeah.
It's
We needed that genetically engineered banana for scale. It's always the same
She
size
just
no
has an
matter what.
extremely large pen.
Yeah. That's the pen Shane gave you.
yeah.
How
It
touching.
is. It's a good pen. But yeah, time for our guests. Vega and Ape Mother, welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you
Hi.
feeling today?
Feeling
Excellent.
Good. Feeling good.
His look good. Well done.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Had a good night's rest at the hotel. Did you go to bed straight away?
We had a beer with Pyrian.
One.
Yeah,
beer.
exactly one, because we got there 5 minutes before they stopped serving.
Oh.
Because for some reason, at the hotel, they stopped serving at like 12 or 12:30 or something.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweden's weird on times, actually. They always stop in hotels really early.
But it might have been, you know, for your own good.
It was okay because there was there must be some convention or there was a show or something, and all these people kept walking in dressed up like
I think,
firemen
like
and clowns.
Schlager Eurovision thing.
What?
You know,
Yeah.
Schlager?
I think Pyrian said
What's
something
a
about people
Schlager?
singing
It's
there.
like ABBA, or like the type of music, you know,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dancing Queen kind of thing.
All right.
There was a woman dressed up like a train conductor, except it had like sparkly things everywhere. It was very weird.
I don't know what kind of thing I'm actually having.
What are you sure?
A dancing train conductor, maybe?
What was in that beer?
Yeah.
You never know. It's some Swedish crap.
You just insulted
Yeah.
everybody in our audience.
And Ape Mother.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, but he's not from Sweden. He keeps saying he's from his own island.
It's not Sweden.
See?
Okay.
It's kind of Sweden, but you think it's Sweden.
Isn't it technically Sweden?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, well. I'm afraid.
He still called it technically.
Who do you pay taxes to?
Gotland.
You got me. That's the only thing I had.
Okay, well, we had a game yesterday. No game, a day, super weekend day. This is already day 2. What do you think of day 1?
It was good. Good games. A lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
It was like kind of a messy day overall. I don't know. It's hard to say what was gonna happen, and like
That's good though, right?
and a lot of Leshrak. It's like FNG talked about the hero. It's like this is broken. I don't know. I think there's answers to it, but
When we saw Burden play yesterday, they played this like Dragon Knight Chen thing.
Yeah.
How much do you think their draft relies on that? Because when we saw a band, the basically unknown could play a lot more up to them, and like they could have more control in the game. So do you think basically or Burden rely on that kind of draft, or
I think they played really well.
yeah?
But it's just like one of those strats where you go as 5-man and get towers and a lot of objectives early on and try to force fights. So if the other team can't split push, which you rarely pick split push now, it's strong. It's very strong. You can force high ground early on and stuff like that.
Do you think Burden's kind of one-dimensional as a team? I feel like we always see them do those same... It's those same early game drafts, and then the other one they do is they do the IO Tiny. It seems like every time I see them not do the pushing thing, that's what they do.
Yeah, I've seen them do the Sing Sing Fan Lancer. And
Sing
also
Sing
Sing Sing
Mirana?
Mirana.
Yeah, the Mirana.
Oh, the Mirana,
I
yeah,
like it a lot.
they did the Mirana Bane thing yesterday, too, at
I
one
think
point.
it's super strong. Like, Mirana can be really good, but you just need to know how to play it.
Sing Sing's one of maybe like 3 people I trust with Mirana. I don't like that hero in general, but Sing Sing tends to make it happen.
When you were here before, Ape Mother, weren't you talking about Mirana like constantly trying to say people should pick it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I saw it and it was a pretty good pick. We used to play a lot back in Team Coast. Like
remember.
Center Mirana draft. Stun, stun, stun.
It's pretty legit.
I don't
Like
think we've seen
Face
enough
Rush with
Centaur.
Mirana was pretty good.
More Centaur? We're gonna see more Centaur today. We've seen a Centaur a few times, but it seems like it's just fallen off.
You have to put him in the safe lane. Like
That's the only
lanes are
way.
kind of awkward now because you don't really have an offlaner anymore.
When we saw Navi play it, they have also played the safe lane
Yeah.
centaur, and it's pretty good.
Because you won, otherwise you're never gonna get blink dagger.
Yeah.
And you're like a pretty weak offlaner compared to other ones like Darkseer or.
You can't get farm by default.
If someone picks like a Chen, for example, is it a lot easier to pick centaur or offlane into that? Like, or would you still never
I think
do it?
he loses a lot of the safe laners now because they're so strong, like
Yeah.
Gyrocopter, Queen of Pain, even Viper. You can put whatever just to
Yeah.
like solo him. That's why he's not that good in offlane.
What did you think of the Jakiro yesterday?
I think he was a really good pick. Like the hero is strong. We used to see it a lot back in the was it TF4 meta when they had Razor Viper.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Universe
This kind of
Yeah.
death ball with Brewmaster and stuff. So I'm surprised people are not picking him more. 'Cause it's really strong in this
That's
meta.
exactly what FNG said
Yeah.
yesterday as well.
Do you remember the old Cloud9 with when Aoi was still playing with them? They would do the core Jakiro every once in a while.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Solo
Monotone
mid
enemy,
Jakiro?
or
Yeah, I don't remember if MD. I don't remember who was playing it now that I think about it. But they did play some games where they would like put him mid and they would give
Yeah.
him priority,
yeah.
farm priority,
It was very fun to watch.
get Atoses and things.
Yeah, it's very strong. Like the hero is really, really good.
So games today, what are you expecting to see here? What are you looking forward to seeing most? Actually, which team or series are you gonna look forward to most? We have Navi Vega, Empire Virtus Pro, Burning United Empire, and Burning United Navi.
I think Empire VP is gonna be really good. That's like the biggest series of today, I think.
I agree with that. I was going to say that too.
Yeah, VP always kind of
Copying it,
deliver.
man.
I really want to see like G on his like crazy aggressive heroes like Quap or Bristleback or something like that.
You could tell yesterday he was so mad. He just wanted to kill everyone.
when he blinked at Dendy under the tower and then he just calls up and he's like, God, I want to kill you so much. That was ridiculous.
You just tell how like aggravated he was. And there was like always free supporters running around me.
Yeah.
Just like,
He's probably still mad about that game.
Yeah, definitely. Did you see that they were tweeting about it?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I didn't see
Oh,
that.
I think it was
Did
during
he?
the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
who
but
tweeted?
I think
G
G tweeted something like "fuck you" on Twitter
her vote,
and
yeah.
to her vote.
Oh, I did see
And
that.
I think
yeah.
it was during the game, but I'm not 100% sure.
and Havost actually tweeted.
And then he got ganked because he got ganked me.
Yeah, Havost tweeted like, it was in Russian and I used like Google Translate and it said like, Le Shrek, like hoof is the best or something like that. Like, and I was just like, that's brilliant.
It's pretty good. I'm actually like I like Shrek, but at the same time, like unless he gets those plays that we saw him do yesterday, he's kind of a static hero in terms of his play style. In terms of he stands still, you know what he's gonna do. He's just gonna, you know, there's gonna be damage
I
coming
think
out.
he's really powerful mid.
Yeah, he's
like,
really powerful, but in terms of being fun to watch,
well, hitting the split arts is pretty fun.
yeah, but that's the only thing about him, and it's like,
Yeah, it's really hard to hit a good splitter, like with that setup.
yeah. But when
And,
he
like,
does hit it, it's
the
like
hero
really good.
itself
But,
is very, very squishy.
yeah,
So if you just get caught out of position, you have no way to like deal with that. You're just flat out dead.
I think the most interesting part about Leshak is like early game when you like run in and out and keep like trying to kite them with the lightning.
yeah.
Like that's probably the most interesting. Like because when he's like super farmed and he's just like running around team
Yeah.
fights, it's like it's really cool to watch a few times. But then after a while,
But
it's like,
then you know it
yeah,
gets
I
old.
get what you mean. Yeah.
I
I think
mean,
it's kind of funny to watch him 1v1 people and just turn on the
yes.
ult. And
Oh,
just,
that's that. I
like
agree
that
there.
game with him against the Lifestealer where they were like going at each other and then the Lifestealer raged and he had to run away.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then he runs back when the range runs out. Yeah, it is pretty fun, and it is definitely fun to watch sometimes, but not all the times. But I can tell that we are actually in the draft of the first game of Vega versus Navi. And I am actually...
What are you gonna ask?
I don't know, because...
Predictions?
Okay, let's do predictions.
Okay, I don't really know the results yet, but I think it's gonna be.
Okay,
I'd say 1-1, because it can
Okay.
go either way.
okay. If you know it, you can't say it.
I know it, but had I not known it, I think I would have guessed 1-1. I think it seems like the most likely result.
You know what? If I didn't know the answer, I probably would have said Vega 2-0. Like
Really?
genuinely, I think when it comes to these like early fighting teams, they're very good at it. And Navi definitely like early fighting, so I think Vega would have came out ahead. But we'll see.
I think Draskell made a really good point when he was talking about how games get really chaotic, and that's sort of where Navi's in their element.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing, and I feel like this is sort of that kind of thing.
And
The game
Vega
is
as well, though. They're pretty good at that too. Like